Hey everyone, ready to dive into some seriously cool EV battery tech.
Always. What we got?
We're going deep on breakthroughs that could totally reshape the electric vehicle landscape.
Yeah, this is more than just, a new model year kind of stuff.
Exactly. We've got some notes from someone named Calpurnia, who seems to be like a battery tech whisperer.
Oh, wow. Okay.
They're tracking all these cutting edge innovations, and their timing is perfect
Mm.
because, we're at this tipping point where these advancements could either make or break the EV revolution.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. It feels like every week there's some new battery thing.
Right. So Calpurnia flagged 3 breakthroughs they're super excited about. Hyundai's doing some really interesting things with LFP batteries.
Okay, yeah. I've heard those are supposed to be safer,
Yep. And more affordable too, but there's always a trade-off
but
there.
always a trade-off. Yeah.
So before we get into that, can you break down LFP batteries for us? What makes them inherently safer than the lithium-ion batteries we're all used to?
Sure. So LFP stands for lithium iron phosphate.
Okay.
And basically, it's all about the chemistry. They use iron phosphate in their cathode, and that makes them way more stable.
Stable how?
Like, even if they get damaged or, exposed to high temperatures, they're much less likely to uh, go up in flames.
Oh, okay. So fewer of those battery fires we hear about.
Way fewer, yeah. And that's, a big deal for getting people comfortable with EVs, right?
Absolutely. Safety is a huge concern for people.
Yeah, no one wants to be worried about their car, spontaneously combusting.
Exactly. And Calpurnia notes that LFP batteries are also way easier on the wallet. But there's that catch we mentioned.
Yeah, there's got to be a catch.
What's the downside of LFP compared to traditional lithium-ion batteries?
So the main trade-off has always been energy density. They just haven't been able to pack as much energy into the same space.
Okay, and for us regular drivers, what does that translate to?
Basically shorter range. If you want to go the same distance as a lithium-ion battery, you need a bigger, heavier LFP battery to hold all that energy.
So it's been this kind of balancing act, right? Safer, cheaper, but you might not be able to drive as far on a single charge.
Right, exactly. That's been the challenge.
But Calpurnia says Hyundai might have cracked the code.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They're claiming to have boosted the energy density of their LFP batteries to over 300 watt hours per kilogram.
Wow, that's getting close to some lithium-ion battery.
Right. So how big of a deal is that? Could this make LFP batteries, the new standard?
It's definitely a game changer if they can combine that kind of energy density with the safety and affordability of LFP, then yeah, they could become a dominant force in the market.
That's so cool. Okay, enough about LFP. Let's talk speed. Calpurnia says Svolt is working on batteries that can charge crazy fast.
Oh yeah, like how fast?
We're talking 10% to 80% charge in just 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Whoa, hold on. That's faster than filling up a gas tank.
Right. That would totally eliminate range anxiety, which is one of the biggest barriers for people thinking about going electric.
No more hanging out at charging stations for an hour or, however long it takes.
It'd be like grab a coffee and boom, you're good to go.
Yeah, exactly. So, what's the magic behind this? How are they achieving such crazy charging speeds?
Well, Calpurnia mentions Svolt is using these special prismatic cells that have a larger surface area.
Oh, I see. So they can absorb energy more quickly.
Exactly. But there's got to be a trade-off somewhere, right?
Usually, yeah. What is it this time?
It often comes down to lifespan. Batteries that charge super fast tend to degrade quicker.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But Svolt is claiming their batteries can handle 3 to 500 charge cycles.
Okay, that's not bad. Still, something to watch as the tech develops.
It's like those phones that charge super fast, but the battery doesn't last as long over time.
Yeah, exactly. But even if the lifespan isn't, quite as long as other batteries, that convenience factor, I mean, 5-minute charging could be a total game changer for so many people.
Totally. Okay, let's move on to our final breakthrough. Calpurnia seems pretty pumped about MG's solid-state batteries. They even called them revolutionary, which, is saying something coming from them.
Okay, so solid state batteries, those are like the holy grail, right?
They have the potential to be, yeah. But break it down for us. What makes them so different from the batteries we've been talking about?
Well, the main difference is they use a solid electrolyte instead of a liquid one.
Okay, and why is that such a big deal?
Several reasons. First, it makes them way safer. Remember those concerns about lithium-ion batteries and fires?
Oh, yeah.
Well, solid-state electrolytes are much less flammable, so the risk of those kinds of incidents goes way down.
Okay, so that's the safety angle. What about the energy density?
Oh, that's the other big advantage. Because the solid electrolyte is more stable, you can basically cram way more energy into the same space.
So that translates to longer ranges for EVs.
Exactly. And get this, Calpurnia says MG is aiming to actually launch an EV with these batteries in 2025.
Wow. So it's not just like a pie in the sky concept anymore?
No, it's getting real. And there's another potential benefit Calpurnia mentions. Cost.
Oh, how so?
Production costs for solid-state batteries are projected to drop by up to 30%.
Wow. So they could actually be commercially viable?
That's the idea. It's still early days, but the potential is huge.
So we've got safer LFP batteries, ultra-fast charging, and maybe, just maybe, solid-state batteries on the horizon.
Yeah, it's a lot to take in.
Right. And we've only scratched the surface. We still need to unpack the bigger picture. What do these breakthroughs mean for the EV market, for the environment, for everything?
The ripple effects could be huge.
Stay tuned for part 2, where we'll explore all of that and more. All right, so we've covered some pretty amazing battery tech.
Yeah, those breakthroughs are mind-blowing.
But now I want to zoom out a bit.
Yeah.
What does all this mean for, the bigger picture?
Oh, that's where things get really interesting. Calpurnia's notes suggest that these innovations could have ripple effects far beyond just EVs.
Okay, like what? Give me an example.
Well, let's start with the environment, right? If EVs become truly competitive with gas-powered cars,
In terms of price, range, all that.
exactly, then we could see a much faster shift away from fossil fuels.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Less pollution, cleaner air. But it's not just about the environment, is it?
Nope, not at all. Calpurnia is also really excited about the potential impact on the auto industry itself.
Oh yeah, how so?
Well, think about it. These breakthroughs could completely disrupt the status quo. Imagine if suddenly everyone wants an EV with a super fast charging solid-state battery.
Right.
The companies that haven't invested in these technologies could be in big trouble.
So we're not just talking about a gradual evolution. We're talking about a potential seismic shift.
Exactly. We could see new players emerge, existing car companies scrambling to catch up, and a whole new wave of innovation in areas like charging infrastructure and, battery recycling.
It's like the Wild West all over again.
Right. New frontiers, gold rushes, hopefully with fewer actual shootouts, though.
Yeah, let's hope so. But you're right. It's a super dynamic time to be following this space. And Calpurnia's notes hint at some even more mind-bending angles to consider.
Oh, okay. Lay it on me.
For one, there's the geopolitical dimension.
Geopolitics. Okay, I'm not sure I see the connection.
Well, think about the materials needed to make these batteries. Lithium, cobalt, nickel. They're often sourced from, very specific regions of the world.
Oh, right.
Control over these resources could become a major source of, economic and political leverage.
Dude, those tiny little batteries could actually shift global power dynamics. That's crazy.
That's wild, right? And then there are the social implications to think about.
Social implications.
Yeah, if EVs become the dominant mode of transportation, what happens to the millions of jobs that are tied to the traditional auto industry?
Right. Yeah, that's a big one. It's great to imagine, a cleaner, more sustainable future. But we also have to make sure that that we're not leaving people behind in the process.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think that brings up a really important point, right? These breakthroughs aren't just technological, they're societal.
Totally.
They force us to rethink, how we produce and consume energy, how we design our cities, even, how we live our daily lives.
Yeah, it's a fundamental shift.
So while we're all geeking out over longer ranges and faster charging times,
right,
it's crucial to remember that bigger picture.
Absolutely. And that's what I find so valuable about Calpurnia's perspective.
What do you mean?
Well, they're not just looking at the technology in isolation, They're thinking about the broader context, the potential consequences, both good and bad.
Okay, so we've talked about environmental impact, industry disruption, geopolitics, social implications. Is there anything else we need to consider?
Well, Calpurnia hints that these 3 battery breakthroughs, they might not be happening in isolation.
Oh.
Yeah, they could actually start converging and influencing each other.
Converging? How so?
Well, it's not just about individual advancements. It's about how these technologies intersect, right? And potentially amplify each other's impact. Imagine combining the safety and affordability of LFP batteries with Svolt's ultra-fast charging.
Okay. Yeah.
Suddenly, you have an incredibly appealing package that could convince even the most skeptical drivers to switch to electric.
That would be a game changer for sure.
Exactly. And then throw in the super high energy density of solid-state battery.
Oh, okay.
Forget road trips. We could be talking about, like, cross-continental adventures on a single charge.
I love where you're going with this. But wouldn't that level of, like, technological convergence be, I don't know, super complex to manage?
That's where software comes in. Calpurnia also mentions the need for solid-state software to optimize these new battery technologies.
Solid-state software. Okay, you've totally lost me.
Think of it as the brains behind the battery. With these, ultra-fast charging times and super dense batteries,
Right.
the way we manage energy flow in an EV becomes, like, way more critical.
So it's not just about the hardware anymore. It's about developing, like, sophisticated software systems.
Exactly. The software needs to be able to, monitor the battery's health, optimize charging speeds, even adapt to different driving conditions.
Wow.
It's a whole new frontier.
It's amazing to think that software could play such a, like, crucial role in the future of transportation. So we've got new battery hardware, new software, and a whole cascade of potential impacts.
Yeah, it's a lot to wrap our heads around.
It is, but that's what makes it such a, like, fascinating time to be alive, We're on the cusp of a major technological shift.
Totally agree.
Hold on, there's one more thing I want to ask about.
Yeah.
Calpurnia mentioned something called second life applications for these EV batteries.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
What's that all about?
So even when an EV battery is no longer powerful enough to, propel a car,
Okay.
it can still hold a significant charge. Instead of just tossing these batteries, we can repurpose them.
So recycling on a whole new level.
Exactly. Like, these batteries could be used to create large-scale energy storage systems to support the power grid.
Interesting.
Help smooth out fluctuations from renewable energy sources.
Okay, that's smart. So they could actually help make our energy systems, like, more resilient.
Exactly. They could also provide backup power for homes and businesses.
Okay.
Or even power smaller electric vehicles, like scooters and bikes, extend their lifespan even further.
It's a brilliant way to, like, maximize the value of these batteries and minimize waste.
Right. It's a win-win.
All right, we're back and ready to wrap up our deep dive into these, like, crazy EV battery breakthroughs.
Yeah, Calpurnia definitely left us with a lot to think about.
They did. And they saved some of the most thought-provoking stuff for last, I think.
Oh. Like what?
Well, they keep mentioning solid-state software. I gotta admit, I'm not totally sure I get it.
Yeah, it's a kind of a new concept.
Is it, like, software that's literally solid? Or is it something else?
Not quite, no. Think of it more as software that's specifically designed for these new solid-state batteries.
Okay, so why do we need special software for them?
Well, because solid-state batteries are, they're a whole different beast.
Right. Way more energy, crazy fast charging.
Exactly. And managing all that power efficiently and safely, well, it requires a whole new level of software sophistication.
Okay, so, like, what would this software actually do?
It would need to, monitor the battery's health in real time, optimize those charging speeds, and even adapt to different driving conditions.
So basically, it's like the software needs to be as advanced as the hardware.
Yeah, exactly. It's about creating this synergy between the hardware and software where they work together seamlessly to get the most out of this new technology.
That makes a lot of sense. And I bet it'll create some, like, really cool opportunities for software developers.
Oh, for sure. We'll probably see a whole new wave of companies popping up, specializing in this stuff.
It's amazing how one innovation, like, sparks a chain reaction.
It is, yeah. And speaking of chain reactions, Calpurnia also brought up this idea of second life applications for these batteries.
Oh, yeah, that was super interesting. Basically, like, recycling those batteries once they're not good enough for cars anymore.
Exactly. Even when a battery can't, power an EV for hundreds of miles, it can still hold a pretty decent charge.
Right.
So instead of just, tossing them in a landfill, we can repurpose them for all sorts of things.
So, like, what kind of second life are we talking about?
Well, Calpurnia mentioned using them for grid-scale energy storage.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Right. Like, create these giant power banks to, help stabilize the electric grid.
Especially with all the, like, renewable energy coming online.
Exactly. It can make our whole energy system, more resilient and sustainable.
That's brilliant. What else?
They could also be used for backup power in homes and businesses.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
And even to power smaller electric vehicles like e-bikes and scooters.
So we're talking about, like, a truly circular economy for these batteries.
Precisely. It's all about maximizing their value and minimizing waste.
I love that. It's like instead of just focusing on the latest and greatest, we're also thinking about the long-term sustainability of these technologies.
Yeah, that long-term thinking is, it's what makes Calpurnia's perspective so valuable, you know?
Totally agree. Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground here, from those mind-blowing battery breakthroughs to like the ripple effects across the entire world.
It's a lot to process, for sure.
It is. But it's so exciting to be, witnessing this massive shift towards electric vehicles and like everything that comes with it.
Yeah, it really feels like we're on the cusp of something big.
Absolutely. And that's a wrap on our deep dive to the world of EV battery innovations. Thanks for joining us. And be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more explorations into, all of the fascinating things happening in the world of tech and science. Until next time.